This week in the Scottish Parliament, most of my work in the Finance Committee and in the Chamber has been on the budget and changes to the way that public services are run. It's been budget week in the Parliament, as you've probably seen within the press, and I'm the spokesman for finance for the Scottish Liberal Democrats. And the discussions that I have had with the Cabinet Secretary for Finance have led, which I'm pleased to say, more places for young people who are trying to access college and university places. Information that we published indicated that a record number of young people have been turned away from applying for colleges as a result of the recession. So as a result of the discussions that we've had with the government, 7,500 young people will have a training in a college place that previously they would not have had. And that is, I think, a real boost for young people across Scotland. Also, businesses are being supported because with our pressure we have secured the £10 million business loan scheme that will allow small businesses in particular to access debt finance to allow them to continue their businesses. Because I know that in the Borders and in Midlothian, small businesses in particular have been a real victim of the recession and have struggled because of the difficulty to access finance, with the banks still not allowing their ability to have proper lending. So those two aspects, supporting young people get the skills for when we come out of the recession, and businesses to support them as we aim for recovery in the economy, is particularly good. I'm also very pleased to say that because of the discussions that I have had, then there is a £1 million post office diversification scheme which will allow there to be grants for post offices to support the businesses. The post office network is absolutely critical to the Borders and also rural communities across Scotland. So the grants support that this fund which we have delivered, I think will be a real boost. So I'm particularly pleased about that, and it's gratifying that at an end of a difficult week in the Parliament, then there can be some real results at the end of our work. All of this is shaped with the experiences of constituents and businesses or young people, Borders College or from Dewlinesk in Midlothian, coming to me and highlighting the seriousness of the situation that they're in. Another very serious issue that has happened right in my constituency has been the tragic death of a constituent at Ledburn Junction. For a number of years now, I've been pressing for improvements at the junction. And under the last Scottish Government, I was pleased to have lobbied successfully to secure £400,000 support for the body called Sestrans, which is the South East Scotland Transport Partnership. And that brings together all the local authorities to develop ring-fenced projects that are where local authorities' borders cross. When the new Scottish Government came to office, they removed the ring-fenced funding, so there's been a hiatus on this, and I hope that with this tragic accident it will really focus the mind of the Scottish Government that they made a mistake and that the ring-fenced funding should be returned. And I'm writing to the Transport Minister this week, as well as have had a number of discussions with councils over the last week with trying to get the project back on track. 3 weeks ago I was pleased to receive a letter from Midlothian Council saying that they will be looking at improvements for lighting and signage after I had made representations before Christmas. Whilst that is welcome, there does need to be a longer term solution, and that is where the government support which it had been previously available needs to be restored. I've also had further discussions this week with the job situation after the blow for the JJB&H mill in Alethan, and what most people remember as the Ballantyne's Mill. The tragedy for those people who've lost their jobs will be compounded with continuing difficulty for the sector. But I hope that with the constant working of the local authority and the enterprise network in partnership with myself, then we all will have tried to secure the best possible outcome for the people affected. But it is a tragic time and a devastating impact on the community within Alethan and the Central Borders, and that is why the continued focus has to be on securing support. The business loans situation that I was previously discussing in the budget debate is very relevant for the textile sector, and really it cannot come too soon. So it's been a very, very busy time in the Parliament, carrying on the casework as always. That comes in thick and fast through emails and through letters, I've got an extremely hard-working secretary and assistant, both in the Galashiels office and in the Parliament. So if anybody gets in touch, then they can do through normal working hours. The phone number, the contact information, and my email address is on the website. And if people want to receive a regular email newsletter with details of what the Parliament is discussing and debating, the legislative programme, the activities that I do on a weekly basis in the Parliament and across the constituency, then through my website, then they can get access and simply send an email and they'll get the regular updates.